Well, political analyst Professor Peter Matthews joins me now from Los Angeles. Thanks so much for joining us today. And I can imagine the word relieved is probably an understatement for Hillary Clinton for something which could have potentially wrecked her presidential ambitions.
It would have been a terrible train wreck if she had been indicted, because that means the FBI found enough evidence to put her on trial. And to stand trial while you're campaigning for the presidency would be unprecedented. A criminal trial. And she did, in fact, make it through that maze, and it was quite amazing, to tell you the truth. There were other things that the FBI came up with that also could hurt her in the campaign, in the election. For example, it said that there were 110 emails that were actually marked classified that she sent on a private server. And this is against what she said earlier, that none of the emails she sent were actually marked classified, they were retroactively. It also brings to mind the question of emails that are born classified. Experts know, and people in the State Department, especially the higher-ups, should know, that some emails, by the very nature of their content, are born classified and cannot be sent out on unsecured servers, a private server, for example. So this is something that will come up. And frankly, the FBI director said that she was very careless in how she handled classified information, which is not a good grade for someone who is Secretary of State and who wants to be president. Now, she did, in fact, make it through this maze, like I said, and she feels very relieved. And she's going to try to emphasize economic issues and other kinds of issues to get the attention away from what happened with the security issue. But Donald Trump will not let her do that. That's the problem.
Well, the FBI also said there was no evidence she knowingly shared sensitive material. Do you not think this potentially could be enough? And also the fact she's not going to be formally charged. Could this not be enough to draw a line over this and avoid any kind of political headache?
That's very important what you noted, that the FBI said there was no intent on her part to commit a crime or to purposely give out classified information. And that is a good bill of health for her in a sense, but yet the court of public opinion looks at it differently than a legal court. The court of public opinion are the voters, and they might, if Donald Trump keeps hammering that she is not to be trusted, and she's already got a problem with the trust factor in the polls, and so does Trump, of course, but they're both the least trusted of any candidates who have run recently. So they will just be hammering each other about the trust issue. And this just kind of compounds it for Hillary, unfortunately. But let's see if she can get beyond that. It's going to be interesting. The convention is not over yet. There's a July 25th Democratic National Convention in which the delegates formally will vote for one or the other, Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton. And many of the pledged delegates will be considering whether or not she's the strongest candidate. Of course, most of her supporters feel that she is. So it'll be a very interesting convention this time, even more so than before. But she did dodge a bullet, so to speak, in not getting indicted. That was a huge development for her.
And indeed, Mrs. Clinton is looking forward back on the campaign trail, this time joined by President Obama. What's the significance that he waited until she was cleared by the FBI before joining her and officially endorsing her on the campaign trail?
Well, it was definitely significant, but everything happened in the last 4 days really quickly. I mean, don't forget, I think it was Thursday when President Bill Clinton met with the Attorney General in her airplane for half an hour. That didn't look too good to the whole public as to whether or not what was going on in the conversation on the airplane for half an hour in Phoenix. And then after that, the FBI interviewed her on Saturday morning for 3.5 hours. And then finally, this announcement came today. And of course, President Obama wanted to make sure everything that would be clear before he goes on and campaigns for her. But I think he was taking a chance anyway in doing so, and we'll see how it turns out. This is not home free yet, and I think the Democrats have to really consider what they're doing when they nominate someone like her, or if they should go with someone else. It's very late in the game right now to make changes, but the Bernie people are saying he's the stronger candidate. In all polls, Bernie actually beats Donald Trump by twice the margin than Hillary does. So it'll be very interesting, but President Obama is going all out for her right now, and we'll see what the Democrats can do. One more thing. This election is not so much Democrat versus Republican, it's insiders versus outsiders. The American people are fed up, and what happened in Britain with Brexit, there could be a reflection of that right here in this anti-establishment election coming up. And unfortunately, Donald Trump is the one who holds the anti-establishment card because he's an outsider. He's never been in politics before, and he can claim to be a successful businessman, no matter the fact that he's had some businesses go failing and all that. But still, he can say, I'm the outsider. I'm going to fight against TPP and free trade. I'm going to save your jobs. And Hillary Clinton's been tied to free trade with NAFTA, or her husband's NAFTA. Bill Clinton pushed NAFTA through and she supported it. And TPP should only recently come out against it, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which has been shown to cause a lot of job loss here. So the feeling that you saw in Brexit in Britain could be transferred over here as well. There's a lot of discontent in the middle class and the working people's lives right now. They're very insecure about their jobs, and either candidate cannot address that because of their credibility, or does not address that specifically on issues, will be in real trouble in November. It should be a very interesting election, to say the least. Let's see what happens on July 25th at the convention, first of all.